The power is going to come. But if you want to learn this shot, because when you're learning this shot from someone, they should be telling you what not to do before they tell you what to do. If they're not telling you what not to do, you're going to have a hard time learning this shot, because most people can't perform the shot because of the things that they're doing, not the things that they're not doing. So let's take a look at the list of things that you're probably doing that you need to stop doing. Number one, if you are not getting into this shot with good fundamentals, that means standing back, seeing the shot line, getting down on the shot, and having a firm bridge, then you are not going to be able to draw the cue ball back. If you are jumping up when you're in the process of shooting, that means you shoot and you go like this. I see it every day. Don't tell me you're not doing it. People don't even realize that they're doing it. I had guys hit the lights over my table once telling me that they don't throw the cue up in the air, and every shot was like this. Somebody's going to lose an eye one day. I'm sure it has happened, because I see so many amateur players throwing their cue around. If you are not down on the table and the tip of your cue is not down on the table and you're shooting a draw shot, you did something wrong. Stop yanking your cue back. If you are yanking your cue back, you're not following through on the shot. If you're not following through on the shot, you either have to hit it crazy hard, which you'll see from a lot of guys. I noticed right now there's somebody on your team, if you're an APA player, there's somebody, it might be 6 or 7, that are hitting the ball too hard, especially when they're trying to perform a draw shot. Next, eliminate any body movement. That means, we already talked about you jumping up. We already talked about you throwing your cue in the air. If your body is moving, your tip is moving. If your tip is moving, then you're not hitting the ball where you need to hit it. Don't blame your equipment. Stop blaming the equipment.
Oh, I play on such slow tables. All the cues that I have to play with suck.
A lot of us have this shot with some of the worst combinations of equipment that you're going to see in the world. We didn't learn this shot with the best cues in the world in our hand. We learned this shot with crappy cues. You will ultimately have this shot in a way that you do not have to hit it hard at all to bring it back to this rail. And even when we shoot the length of the table, you'll find that we're not slamming the ball to bring it back. We'll get to the length of the table a little bit later. You're not going to have a weak bridge. When I say a weak bridge, I mean if you are using an open bridge and you're watching this, chances are you're not hitting the cue ball where you want to hit it. If you're scooping balls, it means you're hitting under the cue ball, not that you're hitting it too low. Those of you that are watching this video and you still have an open bridge for some of these shots, learn a closed bridge. You're going to do better with this shot. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you see some of the best players in the world executing some nice draw shots with an open bridge, they earned that bridge. Make a closed bridge. You'll see me sometimes shooting it with an open bridge, sometimes with a closed bridge. If it's about power, if it's about accuracy, you're going to see a closed bridge. Learn to make a closed bridge. It's not that difficult. That they correlate with the things that you need to stop doing. When you get down on the shot, you need to be balanced. You need to have a good stance. You want to step back here and then step into the shot. When we make the shot, our cue ball is going to come back here. We have a slight angle. Watch where the tip of my cue is. At the end of the shot, we are going to follow through. Notice that ball came back. I left my cue down on the table. It didn't run into my cue. Most of the time, something like 98% of the time, you're going to have some type of angle on this shot. That was less than 2 or 3 degrees. It's not going to come back and hit your tip unless it's perfectly straight, and then you will still have time to get your cue out of the way, even when they're relatively close. Where are we hitting the ball? This is the part that a lot of people have a tough time with. We are hitting the cue ball at the very bottom of the cue ball. And then you're going to say, well, when I do that, I scoop it off the table. Well, we're very honest on this channel. When you scoop the ball off the table, you're not hitting the very bottom of the ball. You're hitting under the ball. You are scooping the ball because you're hitting under the ball. How do I know? Because it's very difficult to scoop the ball unless you hit under the ball. So let's address this for a second. I've had people tell me, no, Brian, I am hitting as low as possible without hitting under the ball. No, they're not, okay? It happens so quickly. That tip is moving at about 4 or 5 miles an hour if you're hitting it conservatively, and most of you are hitting it too hard. So you're about 10 miles an hour and you're going to tell me exactly where you're hitting that cue ball. What you have is a good reference to where you think you're hitting the cue ball. You need to go very low, scary low, lower than you feel comfortable. Now, how are you going to do all of this and not scoop the ball off the table? You can't just say, well, Brian said don't hit under it, so I'm going to stop hitting under it, and then all of a sudden you don't scoop any balls. Shot. you are going to shorten your bridge because you probably have a bridge that is too long. What does that mean? That means where your hand is relative to the cue ball. If you're back here, you better have a world-class stroke. Get your hand closer to the cue ball. 6 inches is not bad. You can get 6 inches from this ball and shoot a really nice draw shot with a lot of accuracy. You're going to have people on your team to tell you the power comes from the long bridge. The power comes from the long bridge if you have a perfect stroke, or at least a really good stroke. The accuracy comes from the shorter bridge, and that's the thing that you need right now.